Hi guys, we're starting week 21 for IEW and it will not be as long as the EL, so you get a little break there. We're going to start with sentence openers, and in the twist guide it's going to be pages 180 to 182. The medieval history based writing flimsy book, it's going to be pages 204 and 205. So you want to take just a minute to open up to those pages. All right, so we're gonna start with the number 1 sentence opener. Super easy. It's a subject opener. We open sentences with this all the time. I just did it. We open sentences with this. Who opens sentences? We. What's the subject of the sentence? We. That's a number 1. Bam, that's it. The time machine rattled and rumbled. What rattled and rumbled? Time machine. Time machine, compound word. So it has the in front of it. That's okay if it has an adjective in front of it, as long as the sentence structure is there, the SVI, SVTDO, whatever it is, as long as it starts with the subject. Another example, and I'm taking this right from the medieval history-based book. I landed in the middle of a busy street. Who landed? I'm the subject of the sentence. Starting as a number 1 sentence opener. Several people rushed toward me. Who rushed toward me? People. Several people. Started with an adjective, but that's okay. It doesn't change the structure at all. So people rushed after me. People is the subject of the sentence. Number 1 sentence opener, subject. Super easy because it's natural. We always talk like this. The girl ran down the road. Who ran down the road? Girl. That's your subject, number 1 sentence opener. The bird chirped beautifully in the morning. Who or what chirped beautifully in the morning? Bird. Okay, so super easy. As long as it starts with a subject, it's a number 1 sentence opener. We're going to move right along to the number 4 sentence opener, and it's an ing opener. Now, there can be some tricky ing words because they are imposters, just because they end with ing. So these are the 3 things an ing opener must have. It follows this pattern. As an ing word or phrase, it has to have a comma. This is a biggie that will help you determine if it is indeed an ing opener. And it has the main clause. So the rules, which are found on page 204 in the flimsy medieval book, I'm going to read right from it so you can read with me. About halfway through in the box, it says, the sentence must begin with an action word that ends in ing. This is called a participle. We remember those. The ing word or phrase and comma must be followed by a complete sentence. The thing after the comma must be the thing doing the inging. And you'll know what I'm talking about in just a minute, all right? That is a lot to remember, but it'll come as you do more of these. So with that, let me put this back down. Below, we're going to just keep reading, are some samples that should help you understand the number 4 sentence opener. Notice that all the rules apply. So here's your first one. Hoping to find help in this strange new world, comma, I plodded on. So, hoping. The first thing in that box says the sentence must begin with an action word that ends with ing. Hoping. Can you hope? Is it an action? Yes. Does it end in ing? Yes. Is it a participle? Yes. Hoping. Second rule. The ing word or phrase and comma must be followed by a complete sentence, okay? Hoping, and here's the phrase, the rest of it, to find help in this strange new world, comma. Now it has to have a complete sentence after that comma. I plodded on. Subject, verb. Yep, it works. And the thing after the comma must be the thing doing the inging. So the inging in this sentence is hoping, right? That's the ing word, hoping. So the thing or the word right after the comma is the one doing the action. So after the comma is I. Hoping to find help in this strange new world, I plodded on. Did I also hope? Yep, I did the hoping, I did the plodding. I did both. So I did the inging. So look at the next example. It says, spotting a roaring metal bird overhead, comma, I scrambled for cover. Does it start with an action word? Yes. Does the action word end in ing? Yes. Spotting. All right, is it followed by a comma, the phrase, spotting a roaring metal bird overhead, comma, yes. And does it have a complete sentence after that comma? I scrambled for cover. I, subject, scrambled, verb, for cover. Yeah, complete sentence. Is the thing after the comma doing the inging? Am I doing the spotting? Yeah, I spotted it. I scrambled. So that works as well. All right. There was, let me see. I'm looking in my twist book right now. Okay, go to page 182 in your TWSS if you have it. If you don't, that's okay. We can just talk through it. Okay, so actually I'm going to start with the bottom of 181. And let's see. For the example, under the number 4 ing opener part, it says creeping silently through the peonies, comma, the sleek tabby cat. Nope, doesn't say cat. Sorry. Tabby. Lost my place. Eyed his prey. Okay, so let's look back at our rules in our medieval history-based book right in the middle on page 204. Sentence must begin with an action word that ends with ing. Creeping. Is it an action? Yes, you can creep. Does it end in ing? Yes, it does. The ing word or phrase must have a comma after it. Creeping silently through the peonies, comma, that's there. It must be followed by a complete sentence. The sleek tabby eyed his prey. Does it have a subject? Yep. Tabby, it's the kind of cat, eyed his prey. The tabby eyed. So yes, there's a verb, so that's a complete sentence. The thing after the comma must be the thing doing the inging. So we said this was the thing after, right? Because these are descriptive words. Tabby is the tabby creeping silently through the peonies, the sleek tabby. Yes, the tabby crept and the tabby eyed. The tabby did both of it. All right. Now, what if I take that same sentence and, not same sentence, same ing opener, using the word creeping. I'm going to rewrite it though. And I change it to creeping silently is something cats are very good at. Okay? Now this is how imposters happen. So let's see. It's our first word in action. Creeping. Yep. Does it end in ing? Sure does. So that works. The other rule, let's see. Ing, word or phrase, and comma. Let's see. Creeping silently is something that cats are very good at. I don't see a comma here. So there must not be a phrase in there. So automatically, this can't be correct. This is an imposter. Let's keep going. There's no complete sentence after the comma because there's no comma. The thing after the comma must be doing the inging. If there's no comma and there's nothing after the comma, can something be doing the inging? No, nothing's creeping in this sentence. So that is an imposter. Creeping silently is actually the entire subject here. Phew, so it doesn't really work. All right, let's check out another imposter. During the storm, and I'm taking these right out of the TWSS book on page 182. Margaret sipped steaming cocoa. Okay. During. Can during be an action? Can be. Is it in an ing? Yeah. During this storm has a comma. Okay. Is there a complete sentence after that comma? Margaret sipped steaming cocoa. That works. Is Margaret, the word right after the comma, is Margaret doing the inging? Is Margaret doing the during? Margaret during, Margaret sipped. Margaret sipped. Did Margaret during? No. So that's an imposter. They don't follow it at all. So it can be very tricky. You have to pay very, very big attention to the rules. So if I were you, I would maybe copy those rules and put them somewhere where they're easily visible, so that when you're practicing, you'll have them right there. I had another example. Okay, and actually the word during is not a true action word. It's a preposition. So parents, if you caught that, you're absolutely correct. It's actually a number 2 sentence opener, prepositional opener. So that was just tricky. Let me see. I was going to do another example. Okay, let's see if we can follow this rule and then we'll move on. Whoops, I'm sorry. Biting, comma, the ants stood still. Okay. Biting, is it an action? Yes, you can bite. Does it end with ing? Yep. Is it a participle? Sure is. Does it have a comma? Yes. The thing after the comma, is it doing the inging? The ants. Ants biting, ants stood still? Yep, they did both. Is this a complete sentence after the comma? The ants stood still. Ants is the subject. Ants did what? Stood. Yes, complete sentence. So this indeed is a true ing opener. All right, and if you've ever seen those funny sentences where if you remove the comma or put the comma in a different place, makes it kind of a silly sentence. There's actually one in here, and it's running down the hall, comma, a banana peel caused Joe to slip and crash into the principal. So running down the hall, running, yes, it's an action, it's an ing. There's a comma after the phrase running down the hall. But the next word, let's see if that's doing the ing. A banana peel. Is a banana peel running down the hall? No, Joe was. So that's another incorrect, illegal opener, even though it follows some of the rules, it does not follow all of them. So that's it on the sentence openers. I'm going to put the TWSS away and take out your medieval writing book. And just flip back a few pages to page 201. We're going to get into the writing portion. And this week, it's a new unit. And before we actually start the new unit, last week or the week before, if you took spring break last week, you should have finished the intro and conclusion, or should I say conclusion and intro, to the last unit, Unit 7. And you should have finished your paper. We can get together on a Zoom or something, or you can record yourself and send that in if you want someone to listen to it. I think it'd be kind of fun to hear each other's papers. But you should have finished that, or if you haven't, go ahead and finish the conclusion and intro. But this week is a completely different thought, different way of doing things, and it's actually a time travel diary. How many of you like to think time traveling? Going to the future, going backwards, right? So this week, we're turning to page 201. So let me erase this. And we're on page 201 to start with. All right. Go down on day 1, which is today. It says you'll begin to write from a prompt. You'll focus on descriptions and a fictional diary. How many of you have a diary? How many of you don't know what a diary is? Okay, so a diary is where you just gather your thoughts for the day, and you can write down in it every day or weekly. And actually right now, with what's going on, being quarantine or staying at home and stores being closed, different things being closed, can't go many places, it's a great time to start journaling or taking notes in your diary. But anyways, a diary is just your personal account of things that have happened each day or during the week or however often you write in it. And you generally have a date, and then you write about it, and that's it. It's kind of cool to look back to see how God has worked in different ways and how you've learned different things over time. So with this week's writing, turn to page 202. And we're going to go into the prompt, and then we're going to talk about how we're going to do a diary entry. So in the middle of the page on 202, the prompt says, Marco Polo traveled far from his home in Italy to Asia. When he reached the empire of the grandson of Genghis Khan, he could not believe what he was seeing and experiencing. He was in awe of the strange new land. Later, he wrote a book describing his experiences, but most of the people in Europe at that time did not believe his splendid descriptions. Okay? So that's just an example of where someone wrote down things or talked about the descriptions of what he saw. What you're going to do is pretend you're a peasant in the Middle Ages. So we've been talking about Middle Ages all year in Foundations and throughout our writings here in Essentials. So you're a peasant in the Middle Ages. Or you can take the person that you chose for Faces of History to write about and pretend you're them from their perspective, all right? And you have time traveled into the 21st century for 5 days. So think about the year of your Faces of History person, okay, or over the Middle Ages, and you've fast forward and to the 21st century for 5 whole days. You're going to write a diary entry for each day of those 5 days, describing the things and people that you see and experience. Include your thoughts and feelings. Do not use terms that medieval people would not be familiar with. So we've learned a lot of things since the medieval time. So if you look on page 203, it gives you the daily things to do within your diary. So we don't have a set KWO chart. We don't have a set, something to write in here. You're actually going to use your own paper, all right? And if you notice, we have Monday of our time traveling. This is going to be like your introduction. This does not follow an introduction and conclusion. Like, it's not going to have a regular conclusion intro where you write the body paragraphs first, and it's not going to have a clencher or anything like that. This is like totally freehand. Get creative, all right? It's been creative writing and inventive writing. It's exciting. Now we're just totally thinking outside the box. But we're going to call this our intro, and we're actually going to do this first. This is like your day one, basically, on Monday. You're going to introduce yourself, so it's like the intro, just like it says. Explain how you stumbled upon a time machine. Think about it. You're in the medieval ages, that time period. Where did you come across this time machine at? Where were you? When did you arrive? Did you see it or did you hear it first? Who did you meet when you moved? Where'd you go? Where'd you end up? What'd you think about what you saw? How'd you feel? So there's all those questions are on page 203. You literally just can follow them. You don't have to answer all of them. You can make it exciting however you want to do that for Monday, all right? And then you're going to make an entry for each day. So for Tuesday is going to be like its own paragraph or own KWO if you choose to do a KWO. But you don't even have to do that. It might make it easier to line it up. So this is like paragraph 1, paragraph 2 would be Tuesday, paragraph 3 is Wednesday, paragraph 4, now this seems huge, but it really doesn't have to be, guys. 5 is Thursday, and you spent 5 days there, so paragraph 5 is going to be your Friday, and also how you got back to the Middle Ages, okay? So this is arriving to the Middle Ages, and this is leaving, I'm sorry, not arriving. This is leaving the Middle Ages, going into wherever you time traveled to in the 21st century. And this is leaving, going back to the Middle Ages on Friday. What happened when you told your friends and family about your adventure? What did you try to describe to them? What was their reaction? Okay, that's Friday. All right, so this is when you got there. How did you feel? What did you see? Where'd you go? Where'd you end up? How did you find this time travel machine? These are your 3 entry dates, okay? So I'm going to email an example of what somebody did, but you don't have to do it that way. You can do it just like a journal entry if you want. You can make this, your date, all right? And then you can go into the information, and then this is your next date, so new paragraph, information, another date, right? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, information. You can do that, or you can literally just write it like a story, and each paragraph, make sure you enter the date in there, and you write about it, all right? So if that's hard for you to do, to like think of what you saw, brainstorm first. Take this first little bit of time today and write down things that weren't in the medieval time period and they are in the 21st century. Think about inventions or new discoveries, cars, even things like toilets, or things we use around the house, the way we use lighting, things like that. And remember, you can write from your own perspective, or as if you're writing from the person you chose for Faces of History's perspective, all right? Make this fun, make it exciting, and you literally just answer the questions, and it's not anything formal. It's very casual, very laid back. Let's see, what else did I want to point out here? Oh, the checklist. The checklist on page 205, I think it is. Nope, 207. You'll notice that the dress-ups and sentence openers, it's not in every single paragraph. So it's not in every single entry for your dates. It's actually just once throughout the entire paragraph, paper. So you don't have to write them multiple times. You can, and you can include them, but as far as labeling them out, as long as you've done one of each throughout the whole paper, you're good to go. So it's very casual, very fun, and I do want to get together sometime and hear these. So I don't know if it's this week or next week in Miss Crystal's class, or Miss class, can get together maybe and hear some of their time travel entries as well. Each entry, though, does need to have 5 sentences, okay? So, you know, on your Monday, what happened needs to have at least 5 sentences. Your Tuesday, your Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, each one does need 5 sentences. All right? So if you have any questions, just let me know, or let Miss Crystal know on the GroupMe's. All right? Hope this video was helpful.